Thomas watched the rain tracing patterns on the window pane. Ever since Sarah died, the rain felt like a constant companion. Seemed like it was mourning their lost happiness, you know? Work was just a grind now, and friends? Well, they mostly stayed away, probably afraid of reminding him of everything. He needed a clean break, a fresh start somewhere where nobody knew about his old life. The old house on the edge of town seemed like the perfect escape. It was pretty run down, definitely needed work, but it had this vibe, like it had seen things. And the price? Suspiciously low, but Thomas didn't care. He bought it, just like that. The first few days felt like a real recovery. Peace, quiet, finally some space to sort through his thoughts. Thomas started fixing the place up. Stripping wallpaper, slapping on some paint, trying to breathe a little life back into it. Then, in one of the rooms, tucked away in a corner behind a bunch of old furniture, he found a mirror. Huge, antique thing in this massive frame with all kinds of crazy carvings. The glass was all cloudy and grimy with age. Curiosity got the better of him, and Thomas started cleaning it. When he was done, the mirror gleamed, reflecting the room and him. But something was off. Something had subtly changed in the reflection. His face seemed paler, his eyes darker, and there was this little line around his mouth that he hadn't noticed before. Thomas shrugged it off, figured he was just seeing things. But in the days that followed, Thomas started noticing weird stuff. The reflection in the mirror was getting creepier and creepier. His face looked twisted with pain and despair. He started seeing things in the mirror that weren't actually in the room. Shadows, moving figures, faces flashing in the background. Spooky, right? The whispering started almost imperceptibly, like a soft breeze drifting through the room. But it got louder, clearer, every day, like someone was trying to say something right behind him. Thomas started hearing Sarah's name. He tried to ignore it, told himself it was just his imagination running wild, fueled by grief. But the mirror wouldn't let him go. It beckoned, it tempted, it promised a reunion with Sarah. Big mistake. Thomas started spending hours staring into the mirror, scrutinizing his reflection. He could see his face changing, becoming more and more like the faces he'd seen in his nightmares. He could feel something alien worming its way into his mind, taking over his thoughts, changing who he was. Really messed up stuff. Weird stuff started happening around the house, things moving on their own, doors creaking open and shut, faint footsteps echoing through the halls. Thomas knew he wasn't alone. He could feel the presence of something sinister, watching him from the shadows. You know, that feeling of being watched, amplified by 1,000. Then, one night, Thomas woke up to this heartbreaking wail. It was coming from the room with the mirror. He went inside and saw Sarah in the reflection. She was standing there, clear as day, with these sad, tearful eyes. "Thomas," she whispered, "I miss you so much. Come to me." Thomas couldn't resist. He reached out towards the mirror, wanting to touch her face. Total sucker move. The moment his fingers touched the glass, Sarah's reflection twisted into this grotesque grimace. She screamed, and these dark, slimy tendrils burst out of the mirror, grabbing his hands. Yikes. The next morning, they found the shattered mirror and Thomas's body. His face was frozen in a mask of sheer terror, and his eyes were empty and lifeless. The eyes in the shattered mirror reflected only darkness. No soul, nothing. Ever since, the house has been abandoned. Locals avoid it like the plague, saying you can still hear the crying in the walls, and that you can see the reflection of someone else's pain in the shards of the old mirror. They say, on clear nights, you can even see the dead soul of the architect Thomas leaving the house from the mirror. Chilling, isn't it?